Welcome to the deep dive. You know how you can spend ages scrolling through product pages, reading review after review?
Oh yeah, endless scrolling.
Well, today we've actually done that work for you. We're looking at the Shark Navigator Liftaway NV356E upright vacuum.
That specific one.
We've got the info straight from its Amazon listing, plus a whole load of customer feedback.
Right, so the official stuff and what real people actually think.
Exactly. And our mission really is just to cut through all that noise and give you the real lowdown. You know, the key features, what people love, what they maybe don't love so much.
Basically a shortcut to figuring out if this vacuum might be a good fit for you.
Precisely. We've got the manufacturer's pitch on what it should do.
Which is useful, but maybe not the whole story.
Right. And then we've got the experiences from people using it in their own homes, dealing with, well, everything. Dust, pet hair, the works.
And putting those two together, that gives us a much richer picture, I think.
Okay, so let's dive in then. What are the absolute must-know features and specs for this Shark Navigator? What makes it tick?
Well, probably the biggest one, the one you hear about most, is the liftaway feature.
Ah, yes, the liftaway.
Yeah. So imagine you're vacuuming, but then you need to do the stairs or get up high. You can basically just detach the main pot, the motor and the bin with a click.
Oh, neat. So it becomes more portable.
Exactly. It turns your upright into something more like a canister vacuum, but, you know, handheld-ish, really good for stairs, furniture, getting cobwebs maybe.
That just sounds super practical for those awkward spots. Okay, what else is important?
Well, for anyone concerned about allergies, and lots of us are, it has what they call anti-allergen, complete seal technology. And it uses a HEPA filter.
Okay, HEPA filter, that's good. What does the complete seal part mean, though?
So the idea is that there's not just the filter, but the whole system is sealed, so the allergens it sucks up actually stay trapped inside, not leaking back out into the air. And they claim it traps 99.9% of dust and allergens, down to 0.3 microns. They even mention it's based on an ASTM standard, which just means it's been tested to a specific industry benchmark.
So there's some actual testing behind that claim. That's reassuring. What about different floor types, carpets versus hard floors?
Yeah, that's covered too. It's got a brush roll shutoff,
Okay.
which is really handy. You just flip a switch, the brush stops spinning, so you can do your hardwood or tile floors without worrying about scratches or just scattering dust bunnies around.
Right, you don't want it flinging stuff everywhere on hard floors.
Exactly. Then you flip it back on for carpets to get that deeper clean. Plus, and this is a big one for many, it comes with a pet power brush.
Ah, the pet tool. Always important.
Definitely. It's a smaller motorized brush attachment designed specifically for getting stubborn pet hair off upholstery, stairs, you know, those fabric surfaces where it really clings.
Yeah, pet hair is the ultimate test for a vacuum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, what about just moving the thing around? Is it easy to handle?
They say it's got swivel steering. So the head pivots quite easily.
Okay.
Which should make it, you know, more maneuverable around furniture legs and in tight corners. Less of that back and forth wrestling match.
We've all been there.
Right. And it also has a pretty decent sized dust cup, 0.87 liters, they say, which is, well, fairly large.
Meaning fewer trips to the bin.
Hopefully, yeah. Less interrupting your cleaning flow. And then you get the standard attachments to a crevice tool for narrow spots and a dusting brush.
So the usual suspects for detailed cleaning. Got it. And how's it powered? Battery.
Corded. It's corded electric, standard 120 volts. Weight-wise, it's listed at 13.7 pounds.
Okay, 13.7 pounds. Not super light, but maybe not crazy heavy either. We'll see what users say.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Dimensions are roughly 15 inches long, about 11 and a half wide, and 45 and a half inches tall. Noise level listed at 80 decibels.
Okay, and warranty.
Comes with a 5-year limited warranty from Shark Ninja, the manufacturer.
5 years, that's pretty good. Okay, that gives us a really solid picture of the specs, what's on the box, basically.
Right, the on-paper version.
Now let's get into the juicy stuff. What are actual users saying? Let's start with the positives. What keeps coming up in those reviews?
Okay, number one, overwhelmingly, is suction power.
Ah, the core function.
Absolutely. People use words like amazing, incredible, very strong. I mean, it comes up constantly.
Really?
Yeah, and what's interesting is how many people compare it directly to more expensive brands like Dyson.
Oh, the Dyson comparison. Always happens.
Always. And quite a few say the Shark suction is just as good, or even better in some cases.
Wow, okay.
One person mentioned adjustable suction, which is useful, and how well the motorized floor brush worked. We saw specific examples too, like Someone testing it with baking soda sprinkled deep into the carpet.
Oh, that's a tough test.
Yeah, and it apparently picked it all up. Another said it pulled dirt out that their professional cleaners had missed.
Seriously, outperforming pros.
According to that review, yeah. So it seems like for raw cleaning power, it really does impress a lot of people.
That's definitely a major plus. Okay, suction's great. What else are people happy about?
Ease of use is another big one. People find it super easy to use, easy to put together right out of the box.
Good, no complex assembly needed.
Right. And emptying the dust canister that gets mentioned a lot as being very easy. Just pop it off, hit the button, dump it out.
Simple is good.
And that lift-away feature we talked about.
Yeah.
People really seem to love that for stairs and getting above the floor. It makes those tasks feel less like a massive chore.
So it genuinely makes cleaning easier in practice.
Seems like it, yeah. It streamlines things for a lot of users.
Okay, so powerful and user-friendly, that sounds like a winning combo. What about the price? Do people feel it's worth the money?
Absolutely. That's another really common theme. Great value, affordable, worth every penny. Especially, again, when they compare it to the price tag on some other big name vacuums.
Right.
The feeling is you're getting really strong performance without having to spend a fortune. Makes it appealing if you're on a budget, but still want something that, actually works well.
That value proposition is huge. We mentioned the pet power brush earlier. Does it live up to the hype for pet owners?
It seems so. Loads of reviews specifically call out how good it is with pet hair, dander, all that stuff our furry friends leave behind.
The struggle is real.
It is. And many reviewers basically say this vacuum is perfect for homes with pet hair. It really seems to tackle that specific problem effectively for them.
That is a massive selling point. Okay, and lastly, on the positives, how about moving it around, that swivel steering?
Generally gets good marks. People appreciate that it makes maneuvering around furniture and into corners easier.
Less awkward bumping into things?
Yeah, just a smoother experience overall, seems like. It helps make the cleaning feel a bit less clunky.
Okay, so lots to like there. The suction, it's easy to use and empty, good value, great on pet hair, and easy to maneuver. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of strong points.
But for a balanced view, we need to look at the other side. Where have people had maybe less positive experiences? What are the common criticisms or mixed feedback points?
Okay, one area where opinions seem to split is the weight.
Ah, the 13.7 pounds we mentioned earlier.
Exactly. Some users describe it as lightweight or perfectly manageable, but others definitely find it heavy, maybe even noisy and heavy.
Interesting contrast.
Yeah, it likely depends a lot on what you're used to, maybe your own strength, or if you have lots of stairs to carry it up and down. So, quite subjective.
That's a really good point. Weight perception can vary a lot. What about the actual build quality? How sturdy does it feel?
This is another area with pretty mixed reviews. Some people say theirs has lasted for years, no problems, feels solid.
Okay, that's good.
But then you have others who describe it as feeling flimsy or cheaply made, particularly, again, when comparing it to older vacuums they've owned or maybe premium brands like Dyson.
Right, that comparison again.
Yeah. One person specifically mentioned the plastic clips used on the Shark felt less substantial than the ones on their Dyson. So, yeah, a real range of opinions on how durable it feels.
So, great performance now, but maybe some question marks about long-term robustness for some users.
Interesting. Any specific design choices that people picked up on? Little annoyances?
Yes, a few quirks came up in the more detailed reviews. One person noted the dustbin release latch is right at the bottom.
Okay.
So when you go to empty it, your hand might be quite close to where the dirt comes out, potentially getting you dusty.
Ah, okay, I see. Not ideal.
Another point was about the inside of the canister. Apparently, there are some internal braces or structures that can sometimes trap pet fur, making it a bit tricky to empty completely without reaching in.
Oh, like hair getting caught.
Exactly. And a couple of comments mentioned the way the cord wraps or where the tools store wasn't quite as slick or well integrated as on some other models they'd used. Minor things, maybe, but they add up.
Those are definitely the kind of details you only notice when you actually live with the product day to day. Anything else on the design side?
One other specific observation was from someone with cut pile carpet. They mentioned the vacuum sometimes left visible brush marks. Oh, really? Like lines on the carpet?
Yeah. Might not bother everyone and might depend on the specific carpet, but it's something to be aware of if you have that type of plush carpeting and are particular about the finish.
Good to know. Okay, so we've got the strong suction, the versatility, the ease of use on one side,
Right.
and on the other, some potential concerns about weight, maybe build quality consistency, and a few specific design quirks like the dustbin emptying and potential carpet marks.
That sums it up pretty well, yeah.
So based on all of this, the official specs, the glowing reviews, the critiques, what are the main takeaways? What should someone really consider if they're thinking about this NV356E?
Well, I think the core message is, this vacuum seems to really deliver on suction power. That comes through loud and clear. And the lift-away feature adds genuine versatility, especially with that pet power brush included.
So power and flexibility are the big wins.
Definitely. It also seems genuinely effective on pet hair, which is a huge plus for many households. And the maneuverability seems pretty good too.
But as we discussed, it's not necessarily perfect across the board.
No, exactly. While lots of people find it easy to use and a great value, you do need to weigh that against the mixed feedback on weight is 13.7 pounds okay for you. And those concerns some users raised about the feel of the build quality.
Right, the flimsy comments versus the lasted years comments.
Yeah. And those little design things like the dustbin latch position or how fur might catch inside, those are worth thinking about too. Do those sound like things that would annoy you personally?
That's a good way to frame it. What about the warranty? Does that 5-year warranty help balance out the build quality concerns?
I think it offers some peace of mind for sure. 5-year warranty is pretty decent for a vacuum. It suggests the company stands behind it to some extent, even if individual experiences with longevity vary. It's definitely a point in its favor when you're weighing the pros and cons.
Okay, so putting it all together then. The Shark Navigator Liftaway NV356E seems like a really strong contender if powerful suction and versatile cleaning, especially for pets, are top of your list and you like the price point.
Right. It offers a lot of bang for your buck in terms of core performance.
But you should probably consider how you feel about its potential weight, be aware of the mixed views on long-term build, and just note those few design details that some users pointed out.
Exactly. Hopefully this deep dive blending the official info with all those real-world user experiences gives you a much clearer sense of what this vacuum is all about.
Yeah, help you decide if it actually fits your specific needs and what you prioritize in a vacuum cleaner.
That's the goal.
Okay, that wraps up our deep dive for today, and it kind of leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener, to ponder. When you're choosing appliances, not just vacuums, but anything for your home, how do you personally balance that equation? The immediate, powerful performance versus your expectations for long-term durability and maybe that premium build quality feel. It's often a trade-off.
It really is. Something to think about.
Definitely. Thanks for exploring this with us today.